close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What's going on, guys? How are we all doing? Back with another show for you today. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to say the scheduled show with lead judges will now be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So, yeah, I just want to tell you all that. And, yeah, let's get introducing my guest. My guest is my good friend, George. How you doing, George?
Hey, mate. How's it going? You good?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. I realise this your debut on the channel as well.
Yeah. I've been watching the videos, but not been on yet, so it's first one.
Yeah, listen. And guys, if you can't see George, he is like the same as me, totally blind as well. So you might, with the camera issues, you know, all the problems I have.
Yeah, so just tell me to open my eyes and I'll try and sort it.
But yeah, George, let's talk about Newcastle. What did you make of the game?
It was bloody freezing, mate. Like, start off with, I didn't know that Emirates turned into the ice palace, but I thought first half we started a bit really slow. Like, if we had a bit more pace, like, we could have caused a few more problems. Tavares was spraying balls left, right, and centre. I thought he turned into Thomas Partey at one stage. The shots he kept having. But I was never worried, if that makes sense. Like, Callum Wilson should enter WWE. The amount of body slams and he was doing on Gabriel, I don't know how he didn't get booked, to be fair. But yeah, I thought second half Saka got his goal, didn't he? Thought that was a good goal, and then Martinelli was a great goal. But one I have a problem with, really, and I don't like to complain when we've won because I'm not one of those fans, but that Aubameyang needs to have a word with himself. Like, I can't see, and I tell you, I could have scored that goal that he missed.
Yeah. And it's very interesting you say that because I was saying the same thing about Aubameyang on Saturday. And I was just very critical of him. Like, what do you think's happening with Aubameyang? Because he don't seem to be, he don't seem to be on top form. We had it last season. I sort of gave him a free pass last season because he had all his issues. But I don't know. What do you make of Aubameyang?
It could be a number of things, really. Like, I don't think he's a captain to start off with. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, he's got his big contract and now he don't really care." Don't think it's that. I don't know if he actually works in Arteta's system because under Emery, he was banging in goals, even under Lundberg when he was there for the couple of games. I don't really. I'm starting to think: are we coming to a time when Aubameyang and Lacazette are on their last thing, and we need to bring new young players in to like build more of the future? I can't really put my finger on it, mate. To be honest, with Aubameyang, like, I think he's a great striker because strikers don't turn bad overnight. But a lot of our fans on social media love to jump and say about Tavares was rubbish against Liverpool, or that person's this, that person's that. But you never really hear about Aubameyang, do you?
No. And
I think he's got to be held accountable because these are young players that he's our captain, and everything goes. Any successful team it goes through the captain.
Yeah. And you make a good point as well, George, that like we don't hear about Aubameyang. I've not necessarily been critical of Aubameyang. Like I say, last season I gave him a free hit because he had all his problems, and there was no fans in the stadium, and everybody was in a shit state, to be honest, last season. But I look at Aubameyang this season, and in games that he should be stepping up in, he's not. I look at Liverpool when we needed our experienced players, he didn't step up. I look at the chance he had against Newcastle at the weekend. Like, honestly, I could have scored that with my fingernail. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Aubameyang missed it. And I just think we're at a point now with Aubameyang where he's declining. And I saw the similar performances before he left Dortmund, to come to Arsenal. And I don't know. I just think Aubameyang's finished as an Arsenal player.
I don't know. I wouldn't say finished because he did go through a part of the season where he scored like in 3 or 4 home games. I get that. But I just wonder if it's time now for Arsenal, whether they do it or not, we don't know. Because we don't, 1 minute the Cronkies do one thing and they do another. But I just wonder if we brought in a young top striker, like the one that we've been touted at, he plays in Italy. I can't pronounce his name. I'm not even going to try. I can't remember.
Which one?
I think he plays for Lazio or Fiorentina, sorry.
Oh, Vlahovic.
Yeah. So imagine if you bring him in, Aubameyang's got competition. At the minute, Aubameyang knows he ain't really got that much competition.
Yeah.
So I just wonder.
You're right as well, because it's just one of them.
Well, he knows that Nketiah's not going to take his place, doesn't he, or Balogun?
I also think as well, and I also think Aubameyang seems to think, and maybe this is part down to Arteta as well. Aubameyang seems to think he's undroppable, and I think if Arteta was to drop him, because we've seen it with other players, like Martinelli not being given a chance, and we've been persisting with Aubameyang time and time again, and he's not delivered. And in actual fact, his performances have declined. And you look at it with other players, Martinelli's not really been given a chance. Balogun's not really been given a chance, even though he's smashing it into the under-23s.
Yeah, I just look at that level.
Yeah, I just look at the situation with Aubameyang and think there has to come a point where we say he needs to come out the team. And I genuinely believe. Do you know what? I asked this question to my viewers the other day. And I'm going to ask you the same question. So there's talk of selling Lacazette. Would you keep Lacazette and sell Aubameyang, or would you keep Aubameyang and sell Lacazette? Because Lacazette has been okay since he's been in this new position. He's been playing really well. I think he's been quite instrumental in the way we've played. Ultimately, he's a striker and he's not scoring goals. But what would you do with Lacazette? Would you? Because ultimately they both need replacing. But which do you think is the immediate priority? To replace Aubameyang, or to replace Lacazette, or to replace both?
See, I'm not the biggest fan of Lacazette because I think like he's meant to be in the team to score goals. He doesn't score enough for me. What he does off the ball and his other play, bringing like Smith Rowe and Saka into it, yeah, he's been doing really well. Aubameyang, I was going to say he's always there to get you a goal, but he ain't got one for a couple of games. I think Lacazette maybe be the first to go, and then you bring in another. If you bring in a top striker and they become your number one, you might see a different Aubameyang when he's fighting for his place. So at the minute, I'd still probably would sell Lacazette, and I think Lacazette, is he older than Aubameyang?
Yeah. Evening to everybody in the chat. Big up to Steve, Static, Mike, and Arsenal Manic as well. Big up to everybody in the chat. Do keep smashing that like button and keep hitting the share button as well. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. But going back to the Newcastle game, George, and going back to obviously just moving away from Aubameyang, what did you make of the second half performance? Because ultimately the first half performance it was a bit shit, but the second half performance we done all right, didn't we? We come out and Saka got his goal, and Martinelli got his goal. What did you make of the second half?
I thought we come out and showed that it was like Mikel put a rocket up their arse, to be fair. Because you could tell it was a 12:30 freezing cold game in that first half. But the second half, come out, Saka, I thought was some really good play with him for his goal. I was happy to see Tavares get the assist because there was a lot of people on social media saying, take him off, he's crap. The usual stuff you get. And then he sets up the goal and then they don't say nothing.
Yeah.
But I thought Martinelli showed what he can do. And I know people say Arteta ain't really giving him a chance, but there must be a reason. He has had a lot of injuries, so just shows the strength and depth we have now. Obviously Martinelli coming on. I thought we played well in the second half. I was never worried that Newcastle was going to score though. Like, apart from that John Joe Shelby shot they had, that Ramsdale has been doing regular routine saves like that for the last few weeks, which was good. I weren't worried, but I thought it was just a regulatory 3 points performance that we needed that after the Liverpool game, and then obviously I know we're going to talk about later, but going into Man United, like if you said to me like now would be fifth, joint fourth in December, or going into December, I'd say you're off your head.
Yeah, and we're 3 points off fourth. Do you know what I mean? Like we are. Well, actually, I say we're 3 points off fourth. We're not now, are we? We're level with West Ham on goal difference.
I think
we're behind
about
on
3 points off third.
Yeah,
it's mad, isn't it?
which is actually, when you look at it, like these next two games, and we are going to come on to these next two games, they're so critical in our season. But I wanted to ask you about Martinelli. Do you actually think, what do you think we should do with Martinelli? Do you think we should keep him? And because I'm all for dropping Aubameyang and putting Martinelli straight in the into the starting lineup.
If I'm kind of torn a bit, like if he's not going to feature a bit, then maybe they should put him out on loan, like from January, to get him some game time. Because sitting him on the bench and just waiting for FA Cup games or Carabao Cup games, there's not enough for what we need of him. I'd like to see him play Martinelli against Manchester United. If I'm honest, their pace, his pace against that Man United defence. Can you imagine like Martinelli against Harry Maguire? Right, so
carry on, mate.
I would like to see Martinelli play a bit more, but I realistically don't think he will. So maybe a loan deal.
Yeah, I think Martinelli definitely deserves more game time. Definitely deserves more game time. I think, especially when we see the decline of Aubameyang, I just would love to see Martinelli in and around that first team. And you can see that he took his goal. You know, he took
Yeah.
his goal so well, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
On
it was on the pitch 90 seconds, one touch, bang, goal. That's what we need.
yeah, we do definitely need it. I want to ask you because when he first came into the club, I was very, very critical of him. But I want to ask you about Aaron Ramsdale. What do you make of Aaron Ramsdale?
For me,
Because when he
best keep.
first when he first come in, like honestly, I was like, I'm not sure this is a good signing. And actually, he's fully proven me wrong. And I am on more than one occasion I've apologized on the stream for going in on him because actually
Yeah,
Ramsdale has actually become, not only has he been a revelation and been a good signing, he's actually become my favorite player in this current Arsenal side. Like, and all the guys in the chat will know that I wasn't his biggest fan when he come into the club. I wasn't convinced, and like literally, he's just proved me wrong.
so I remember it's kind of funny. I remember having rows with Arsenal fans actually on Twitter, them saying, "Oh, but he's been relegated twice. He's rubbish. Why we sell him?" I went, "But don't mean nothing. Like I think Aaron Ramsdale's a really good goalkeeper. Like I thought he was, because it like when he was at Bournemouth, he had the third best shot stopping thing behind Ederson and Alisson. So I've always liked Ramsdale, but he's just gone up levels and levels for me this season. For me, it's between him and Mendy, who's the best keeper in the league at the moment. And I'm edging it
Yeah,
Ramsdale because Ramsdale has more shots. Like the save he done against James Maddison, that was amazing. The one he's done, even the save he done against Shelby, that was a good save. And I can't, like Liverpool, it would have been about 8-0 if it weren't for him. So I know it's not just the saves he does, mate. It's what he does off the pitch. Like he riles the fans up. Like when the I think was it Tottenham. I think like he was just getting the crowd going and that. And then when he wants the defense to do more, he's like shouting at them. Like that back five that we have. I say back five. I mean Tierney in that as well. Is amazing. Like it feels like a feel good vibe around the club with the young players that they brought in, like Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Tavares, Locke, all White, Gabriel. Do you get what I mean? But Ramsdale is the key to that. If he carries on all season, I don't see why he shouldn't be England #1 going into the World Cup.
yeah, it's crazy. I do think Ramsdale is a quality keeper. Evening to Trevor, watching from South Africa. I know you guys are having some few issues over there, but I hope you guys are all right. Arsenal Manic says, do you think we can sign a top striker in January? Give us the inside scoop. Do you know what, right? A lot of people always say, because they know now I'm on the board, I don't actually have anything that honestly the board ain't gonna come out the Arsenal are not gonna come out and reveal their transfer plans as much as I'd like them to, and as much as I'd be down for that. They're
You
not
mean to
gonna come
say
out and
you're not in a
reveal their
WhatsApp group with Haaland and all that?
yeah, they're
Right.
not gonna come out with their transfer plans, and even if they did, they would make us sign an embargo that we can't talk about it. So, like, honestly, I'd love
There's
to
me
be able
thinking you was
to.
in a group with Sterling, Haaland, all the players we've been linked with.
Who's that?
I said there was me thinking you was in a WhatsApp group with like Sterling and Haaland.
Yeah, mate, I'm Haaland's best friend. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's what
Like,
I mean.
I'm Haaland's best friend. I'm there just I went out to dinner with him yesterday. He's really keen on the project, and I wish.
He likes
mate.
your guide dog. That's what it is.
I wish. Tell you got more chance of Odegaard convincing Haaland to come to Arsenal than I have, and there's no chance of that, is there? It's mad. It's total crazy. But yeah, it is insane. It's absolutely insane. Let's look ahead to Man United, because we've got a massive game on Thursday. Do you think we can get a result against Man United?
What are we talking about? United?
Yeah. Do you think we can get...
I think we can beat them. There's no reason why not. They're not scary. Like, I know they've looked a bit better under... I'm going to say this, Michael Carrick. But they're obviously, like, Ralph Rangnick's not going to be there for the Thursday match. But our record at Old Trafford's not the greatest, is it? I know we won there last season. But I don't see why not. Maguire's back, so that's good news for us. I'm not sure if Saka's going to be fit, so that's the only thing that worries me a bit, who they bring in for him.
Yeah, I think... Hold on one sec. What's going on here? Yeah, I think we can. I think we can beat Man United. I actually look at this game, and I actually think that this is a key game. When we played Liverpool and we lost, and everyone was going into utter meltdown, I wasn't necessarily going into utter meltdown, because right now we're not competing with Liverpool. We're not competing with Chelsea. We're not competing with Man City. However much we'd like to be, and however much that pisses people off, me saying that, but it's the truth, and it's the fact and reality.
The two bigger games for me was Man United and Everton away.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to. These are the teams we're competing with. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. We're not at that level. They're ahead of everybody.
Yeah, Galaxy's away.
Yeah, although having said that, I know there's going to be a lot of people going, well, Brighton got a draw against Liverpool. Man United got a draw against Chelsea. Yeah, they did. But
yeah, but that's ridiculous for people to say that. That don't mean nothing. Watford beat Liverpool 4-1 when they was going to win the title. Don't mean Watford are on the same level as Liverpool. Like, every club loses or drop. The littler clubs, no disrespect, they always put up a harder thing. Liverpool, Arsenal it's always been a bigger game, or Arsenal, Chelsea, or even like say West Ham, Chelsea. But if you're like, you got to think Watford done Liverpool 4-1 when they went for the title.
Yeah, big up Gary. He said, love the stream. Good. He said, nice background listening to entertain himself. Yeah, big up to you, mate. Hit the like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Yeah, and this is the thing as well. Like, we weren't competing with Liverpool, Man City, and Chelsea. We weren't competing. We're not competing with Man City and Liverpool. We're not at that level. And that's what people need to remember, is that although Brighton and West Ham got a result against Liverpool, Man United got a result against Chelsea, anything could happen. We could go and get Liverpool in the cup, in the Carabao Cup, and they could put out a full strength side and we could get a result. It's just one of them things. And I don't think we did too badly. And a lot of people don't realize that we kept Anfield quiet for 35 minutes until Arteta decided to turn into Roman Reigns and the go for
Superman.
yeah. Honestly, like he did. He was going to Superman punch Klopp, and then Klopp turned into Tyson Fury, and they were all going off it.
I thought
I
Mikel was
was
going to go like do a Goldberg and say, "You're next, Jurgen."
yeah. I thought I was watching Tyson Fury v Deontay Wilder 4. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what's going on here? Like, and then it all changed. And it's just where we let ourselves down at Liverpool. We went into that game 1-0 down at halftime, which is not a bad result against, title challengers.
No.
Where we fell apart at Liverpool is we come out for the second half and just collapse. But with this young team, it's going to happen. Trevor says Arsenal will play Champions League next season. Wow, that's a big statement. But you know what, right? I actually do think we got a chance of top 4.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
There's no reason why not. Like
when you look at the teams, everyone was tipping Man United to get that top 4 spot. Man United have been dog shit this season. Like,
seriously,
seriously,
they had Ollie the Wally, didn't they? And now they've got Carrick at the wheel, and then they've got Grandad Ralph. So why not? Like, there's no reason. Like, United have a lot of problems, like on and off the pitch. So if we can win on Thursday, I think we open up something like an 8-point gap.
Big up King Tony. And he said, don't worry, it's just another free hit. This free hit business has been taken way out of context. Like, honestly, you guys let the free hit thing, right? And when Lee said it, right? Because it was, I know why you guys are saying it. When Lee said it, he didn't mean it in the way that you guys are taking it. He meant it in the way that it's not going to necessarily matter if we don't win, because where we are, it's not gonna make a difference. We got the win. We're winning the game. We're winning the games that we're supposed to win. We're not winning the game. Like, nobody's expecting us to beat Liverpool. No one's expecting us to beat Chelsea. No one's expecting us to beat Man City. But we're winning the games that we're supposed to win. It's the big test on Thursday. Thursday and Monday.
We've got a young squad as well. Like, we have a young, like, you take Aubameyang and Lacazette out of that squad, out of that team, our team average goes down to 23. We've got the youngest team in the Premier League. And I don't think some Arsenal fans just expect, like, oh, we're doing well, so we're going to go and, like, there was Arsenal fans saying we was going to beat Liverpool 2-0. Like, on what planet?
Do you know what I mean? We're not there yet, are we? We're not there.
No, we're building. Whether Arteta's the man to do that towards the end, none of us know. We only go on that by the end of the season, I suppose. But
I think what's going to be crucial.
I just think we've got a good squad,
Gary,
and we just go from there. Really, to be fair, like.
Comment here says, put some respect on Ralph's name. Yeah, he's not going to be managing though, is he? Like, so we got a chance of beating Man United. He's not going to be. It's going to be.
I put respect on his name when he's not playing against my club, so I don't need to when he's. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's mad. Absolutely mad. But you know what? What's going to be key is January.
Yeah.
Because all the if we don't sign anybody, because we've got to sign some strikers in January, and we've got to sign some backups to all the players that are going in the African Cup of Nations. And do you know what, right? I actually look at this Martinelli situation as well, and maybe Arteta will start playing him more, because
you got African Cup of Nations as well.
Yeah, Aubameyang's going off to the African Cup of Nations. Now is the perfect time to start integrating Martinelli into the team. because after Man United and Everton, we've got Southampton, West Ham, Leeds, Sunderland, Norwich, and Wolves ahead of that game against Man City. All of those, in my honest opinion, all of those are winnable games. Maybe West Ham might be a bit of a difficult one.
I think West Ham's the hardest game.
Yeah. I expect between now, right? Yeah. Man United, Everton. I expect if we can get 4 points out of those two games, and then going into Southampton, Leeds, West Ham, Norwich, and Wolves, I expect us to get all maximum points in those games. I really do. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I do expect us to get maximum points in those games, going up to the what was the other game? I missed out Norwich as well. Yeah. And I think we should get maximum points. Maybe I'm being too ambitious, but I do genuinely think it's possible.
There's no reason why not.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. What sort of lineup do you think Arteta will go with on Thursday for the Man United game?
I don't expect many changes, to be fair. The only one I can see potentially is maybe Saka, where he could be injured, because I know everyone's saying that he's doubtful. So, but what I wonder, it'd be interesting to see what he does. But me personally, if Saka can't play, I'd play Tierney there, and then you've got Tavares. For when Tavares goes forward, Tierney can always go back, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too disappointed in that, because I can't see really who else you'd bring in, unless Ødegaard went there and Lacazette come in and played on the left like he normally does. But I don't think Pepe will start, because I think he's very down the pecking order. So yeah, I think that's just who they'll play, really. I think they'll go the same way, because it's going to be interesting because what tactics we go with, because the way Man United have been playing their last couple of games, Michael Carrick's had them more of a counter-attacking team. So is he going to set up like that? And that's if we have a lot of the ball, we've got to take our chances there. So yeah, I'd probably say Tierney to come in for Saka if Saka's not fit. If Saka is fit, then same team will probably play.
Do you do you think that he'll change the formation to try and put more people on Ronaldo? Because obviously we've got a big test in face. I mean, I know Ronaldo's not the player he once was, but
no, he still ain't bad though, is he?
What's that? No, he ain't the player he once was. Now I've said that, he'll probably get a fucking hat trick.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm saying he's still probably one of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think so, because I think as a back five, they defend solid as a unit anyway. All right, they didn't at Liverpool, but that's the only game they haven't. I think it's a big game for Thomas Partey and Sambi for me. I think the battle's going to be in the midfield, because they're obviously going to go with probably Fred, McTominay and whoever else, Matic or whoever. So midfield battles are always key with Arsenal and Man United.
Yeah.
So I just wondered. I wouldn't even be surprised. Like I was saying about midfielders, they could even bring in Maitland-Niles for Saka and just block the midfield out like that.
Let's read some of these comments here. Somebody said, yeah, Trevor, we're playing away against Man United. We're at Old Trafford. So yeah, we don't have home advantage, unfortunately, in this one.
We might do, because half of Man United fans are from London anyway.
Yeah. Score prediction. What would you go for a score prediction?
I've said from the start 2-1 to Arsenal. So
yeah,
I'll stick to that.
2-1. That's not a bad score prediction. I do think as well, though, I think what's going to be crucial and what I think will happen for me is that because we're fresh off the back of that defeat at Liverpool, it's still going to be in the players' minds. So they'll want to come out and prove. They'll want to come out and prove themselves. I'm going for. I don't know. Like, I'm going for. I think 2-1 or 2-2. Like, I'd love us to win this game, but I could easily see it being a draw. And actually, Arteta's got a good record against Man United since he's been in the job.
That was against Solskjaer, though, wasn't it? To be fair.
Yeah. To be honest, I could have a good record against Solskjaer. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Yeah, honestly, my nan could have a good record against Solskjaer. You know what I mean? It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I want to ask you about Pepe. Do you think Pepe's finished at Arsenal? Because obviously he's not been getting much game time. He's not, and when he has been getting game time, he's not really done it. What would you do with Pepe?
Parts of me feel sorry for him a little bit because he's got that big £72 million price tag on his head, and he's definitely nowhere near worth that. And he did have a few good games, and then he dropped out, and then I personally don't see him having a future at the club, which is a shame because I do like Pepe. It all depends that, like, player-wise, who they bring in. Like, if they bring in another player who plays in that position, then surely that's got to say to him, "Nah, mate, you've got to go on, like, go or something."
Yeah,
we've seen him have some decent games, mate. You know what I mean? Like, but we've seen him have some really terrible ones as well. So it reminds me a bit like Zaha.
Yeah, well, everybody wanted Zaha, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, everybody wanted Zaha, and we ended up with Pepe instead.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, do hit the like button, do subscribe, and do turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so already. So yeah, would really appreciate that. Let's get into some of your comments. Bear with me 1 second while I. It's the problem with these StreamYard thing, right? You go down and get to all the comments, and it jumps right to the top of all the bloody comments. Let's have a look. Have a look here. Yeah, just while I'm scrolling down these comments, George, do you think do you think we will actually sign anyone in January?
I can see us signing a central midfielder and a trying to striker, because obviously the African Cup of Nations is coming up. So we're going to be losing Partey, Aubameyang, Elneny. Not that we'll probably miss Elneny, but there's still a squad player. I think Pepe's going potentially. So there's a few players. So you need to have cover. So I've heard a lot of talk about Renato Sanchez, which would interest me. I think he's a good midfielder.
Yeah. What do you think about the reports linking us to Sterling as well? Do you think that's a possibility?
I just can't see why Sterling would. Like, maybe in the summer if we've got European football, but not at the moment. I'd have Sterling potentially, and if we've got Sterling, then for me that means probably Lacazette and Pepe are both off because the wages what Raheem Sterling would have. Like, I think a lot of people shit on about Raheem Sterling, but he's a good player. I'm not his greatest fan, but he is he's nearly. I think he scored nearly 50 Premier League goals, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the reports are suggesting that Arteta could bring him in. Big up to Sentiment FC, love Arsenal, hate Kroenke. Says I expect nothing less than 3 points. I think it's going to be a big test. Man United's going to be a massive test.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely take Sterling, and I think apparently Arteta wants him as well.
It'd be the experience we need as well because he's only 26, so he's still got a few years and he's still younger-ish, but he's like in that 26 to 28-year-old experience role.
Yeah, and I would like Vlahovic. Don't get me wrong, I'd love us to sign Vlahovic, but all the reports are suggesting, and even Fabrizio Romano said it the other week. Guys, if you haven't checked out, I know the Arsenal Lounge had Fabrizio Romano on the other week, and he was saying that Vlahovic is not keen on a move to Arsenal because we don't have European football. And this is a problem we're going to face with trying to get those top players, is that we're not in Europe. And this is, unless Arsenal and the Cronkies are prepared to throw a lot of money at it, then we're not going to get them. I'm under the impression, and from things that I've heard in and around the club, is that the Cronkies are going to make money available for us in January. I mean, I had I say I had a conversation of sorts, but I actually had a 20-minute conversation with Josh Kroenke after the first meeting, and he was kind of indicating to me that there's no point, this is his words, not mine, so take it as you will, but he basically said that there's no point in getting to where we've got in the league and then come January not continuing to build on on the progression that we've made. And those are his words, not mine. So don't shoot the messenger. Look, you can take it with a pinch of salt. You can believe it. Look, I personally take this view that until it happens, then I'd take it with a pinch of salt. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens. It's going to be certainly interesting to see what happens with the striking positions. Because the one thing that worries me is when you look at our attacking stats for this season, they're not great. No. And I suppose that's when you look at where we are in the table. If we can get to January in a similar position without great attacking stats and then rectify that in January, I actually think it could turn out to be a very good season. Like, I really do. I actually do think.
Yeah, I agree. Because imagine what we could do with someone who bangs in at least 10 or 15 goals up front. We haven't really got that. We haven't got that at the moment. we'd expect to have it under Aubameyang, but at the minute, for some reason, he's not firing on all cylinders. So I do think they'll bring players in January and the summer, because, like I've heard Josh Kroenke say, even on the Sky Sports interview, there's no point doing half a job. They know they've got to get the trust back, and getting the trust back for the fans. The only way that is if they put their money where their mouth is, really. So I can, because you think if we bring a central midfielder and a striker in that are both younger-ish, then when the summer comes, they can just look at squad players. They haven't got to go out and buy anyone like drastically.
What would be your realistic expectations for this season?
So I've said for me, if we want Arteta to stay, he has to get us back in Europe, for me. So I've said top 6 finish and maybe a domestic cup. So like a Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. I think that's a great season, and I think that's achievable. Anything below 6th, I think, is a bad season.
Because I think we could win. I think we could win a cup. I do. I think, we're knocking on the door of the Carabao Cup.
Well, Carabao Cup's wide open now because City are not in it anymore, aren't they? So
yeah, I think the semi-finals is going to be tough. A lot of you are saying, I've just seen in the chat, yeah, Kieran Clark sent off for Newcastle, and it's only 9 minutes in. I tell you, Newcastle are in shit state right now. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're bottom of the table,
be the richest club in the Championship.
Yeah. Big up John the Revenite. He says, "What have I come into, Daniel, with the Kroenke propaganda?" Hey, listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just passing it on. I'm just
He's been bought out by the Kroenke guys.
Let's have a look here. What else we got in these? Let's have a look. What's the you guys are absolute jokers. Absolute jokers. I've just seen it. But yeah, I do think we could win a cup. I think the semi-finals in the Carabao Cup is going to be really tough.
It all depends who we get, really.
Because I've said it, and I'm going to call it now. It's going to go one of 2 ways, right? We'll get past Sunderland, because I do think we'll get past Sunderland. And I think we could have a January where we're playing... You think, right, yeah, because we've got FA Cup as well. And I've said it, right, yeah. Wouldn't it be absolutely weird if we had the whole of January where we just play Spurs? Like, could you imagine that? Getting Spurs in the FA Cup, Spurs twice in the Carabao Cup, and we're playing them in the league. So,
I'd love that. All those victories.
It's either going to be Spurs or we're going to have an all Liverpool January. Because we could get Liverpool. Liverpool are still in the Carabao Cup, so we could get Liverpool. Then we could get them in the FA Cup. But yeah, it's going to be... I've just got this gut feeling it's going to be Spurs, though. I've just got this real gut feeling that we're going to... January is going to be called Spurs January because we're going to play Spurs and we're going to beat them. Yeah, we're going to beat them. It's mad. Absolutely mad. But yeah, guys, listen, do smash the like button. Would really appreciate that. There's currently 8 of you in the chat. So yeah, do smash the like button. Do hit that subscribe button as well. It's so important. and do hit the notification bell. But yeah, do hit that notification bell. Listen, we are coming to the end of the show. And George, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been great. Your debut on the channel.
No worries. Cheers for having me on. It's been really good.
But yeah, listen, it's your debut on the channel, and it's been great to have you on. And hopefully you'll come on again.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah, listen, guys, I'm going to end the show, but I'll be back. I'll be doing my reaction for the Man United game. I'll be doing it outside of Old Trafford, so stay tuned for that. I want to apologize as well for the Arsenal-Newcastle one, because I've seen some people in the comments suggesting that they couldn't hear it. It was incredibly windy, and I watched it back, and it sounded like the wind, like even I couldn't hear it. So, yeah, apologies for that. It was just a crazy windy day against Newcastle, and it was fucking freezing as well. Like I was freezing me fucking bollocks off. Do you know what I mean? It's like going into an ice rink. You know what I mean? Going into the Emirates on Saturday, but it's going to be even colder in Manchester as well. Yeah, it's going to be even colder. But listen, guys, all enjoy the rest of your evening. Smash a like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe and hit the notifications. And I will be back on Thursday with the match reaction. Then the review I'll do on Saturday, because I'm traveling back from Manchester on Friday, so I won't have time to do it. But yeah, listen, big up to everybody who's tuned in. Until next time, take care, guys.